So, hello everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar. I'm here with Austin Shaw
Hey.
and hello, from Liquid Accounts. And today we're going to discuss how you can move your accounting to the cloud, increase resilience and save money. And Austin will share more on that. And at the end, we'll also have some question and answer session. I'll ask some questions from Austin because the product actually has a lot of interesting things going on inside. And I also have some questions for Austin. And yeah, we'll discuss it at the end. So Austin, it's your show now.
Okay, thanks, Mathora. Rightio. So basically what I'd like to do is just thank you all for taking a bit of time out to speak to myself and finding out what Liquid can do for you. I'm going to just run through today as a brief agenda, just some of the key features of Liquid accounts and also the payroll. And then as Mathora said at the end of it, we'll have a bit of a Q&A session. Just to introduce yourself, my name's Austin. I've been a sort of software consultant for the past 20 plus years now. I've dealt with software likes of Sage 50, Sage 200, SAP Business One, Sage Evolution, so several different product brands, and now working with Liquid. My role here is the product manager. So basically my day-to-day role is helping people get on board with the system, find out if there's any additional requirements they need, and then we can process that forward and kind of get them up and running as soon as possible. And again, working on any development roadmaps and things like that we need in the future. So while we're going through, I think Mathora will be just picking up any Q&As that come in, and we can run through those again at the end. So basically to jump on, so what is Liquid Accounts really? It's a software that's adaptable for your business. It's a fully cloud-based system. It's all hosted in the UK and it allows us to provide bookkeeping solutions for your business. Liquid came into effect roughly about 2005 and it's one of the first true online cloud systems. We're looking to help businesses who feel they've outgrown their sort of current ones like QuickBooks Zero, and we're a much more scalable and sophisticated package, we like to think. And we're looking to tend more to companies' requirements. And basically, we kind of got good scalability on there. So as your company grows, we can adapt to make development changes as needed. And so one of the quotes I like to say is we're a fully true cloud package. So whereas things like what's a hybrid package like Sage 50, for instance, which is kind of 90% desktop and then the rest of it is a slight cloud additional functionality. So the benefits you'll get with it being a true cloud system is able to work in your accounts whether you are, whether you're inside or outside of the office. We use the same data encryption levels and SSL certificates as banks and things like that. So you need to be sure that your data is safe and secure. There's no need for software installations as everything is held on a cloud package. It's done through the web browser. We can run any web browser, so we can work on Windows and Macs. And all you need then is just your internet connection, your log on credentials, and you're good to go wherever you are in the world. We also have automated backups on the system, so you don't have to worry about backing up your data if there's any problems, and we can restore those immediately for you. And our servers are all hosted within the UK. But then pass on to some of the key features of Liquid Accounts. So again, as a starter, we come with the 5-user, 5-company module. Again, we have scalability for adding additional companies and additional users. It allows you to manage your cash flow, your income expenses and payments. We have no transactional limits on things like bank transactions or number of customers, suppliers. We're in the process of looking into bringing in open banking integration at the moment, and we have integrations with point of sale software, for instance, Tilgo, which allows you then to do your EPOS systems. There is a very good project costing module within Liquid, and we can enter timesheets into there. We can do the full sales and purchase order cycles. We're a true full multi-currency package as well, so we can handle currencies in different scenarios whereby you can have a customer that's based in with a GBP account on there. We can invoice it in euros and receipt it in dollars, and it will do all the triangulation currencies there for you with all the exchange rate gains or losses being posted automatically. Liquid does have a stock and stores module on there, so we can hold stock items. Those can be a mixture of stocked items, non-stocked items, service type items. So again, that allows you to put the codes and the prices and put different price lists on there so you can keep your stock levels correct. We are VAT MTD compliant, and again, we can submit our returns directly from the software into HMRC using their new API, so you're fully compliant with all those new legislation changes that came into effect over the last couple of years. Our nominal ledger structure, we can pick up and choose. We have a standard liquid one, or you can go with the lines of a Sage 50 structure, a pastoral partner structure, or you can put your own nominal structures in there. The structures are alphanumerical, and we can go down to 5 different levels of granularity in there, so you can have quite an in-depth nominal structure if you need. We've got facilities to put commissions and sales agents against transactions and run commission reports on the back end of that. We come with a plethora of financial reports, or your standard TB, etc., P&L balance sheet. And one of the nice ones, Liquid, is our telephone and email support is all held within the UK. So you speak to UK people on there, and it's sort of straight away back to there. And then also we have some additional add-on modules, so we can put on bills of materials if you do like manufacturing. We've got serial number and lot tracking capabilities if you need to keep track of specific items as they process through the manufacturing process or within the stock. We can have multiple locations, both bin and warehouse, and different costing methods of stock. So we can do average costing, standard costing, FIFO costing. As mentioned earlier, we can add additional companies and users as and when, and we also have company accounts consolidation. So if you do have a group of accounts, we can roll up the journals from those into one main consolidation company and then run some financial reporting across the groups on the back end of that. We've been quite heavily involved with doing integration into third-party e-commerce solutions at the moment, mainly sort of Shopify, Magento, Magento 2. We do eBay. We also have integrations with Zoho, and we have an advanced nominal report writer. So if any of the reports that come as standard need some extra tweaking or some extra development on there, then you have a report writer which you can create and add those in for the nominal side of it, which allows you then to do it more sort of vocabulary over months and things on those lines. We have integration with some CRM packets, mainly Capsule and Zoho, which allows them to talk in between. And we also do bespoke development as well. So basically, if you do have a system, provided we can get APIs and things like that, we can look at integrating that for you. As I mentioned before, the main sorts of financial and sales reports on there we do are the ones you would expect as standard, but we have a trial balance, profit and loss accounts, balance sheets, we do turnover reporting, sales analysis. We can put budgets into Liquid as well, and then run budgets against variance reporting on there. We can run your aged debtors and creditors reports. They can be run back to a point in time as well, so it gives you a chance then to see what it was. The accounts that's usually like that at the end of the last period and things on those lines. Again, we can run sales reports by the sales reps or the agents. You can look at profitability reports, what customers have bought what item, what general margins are made on those. And also we have the budgetary reporting again. Just an example of some of the profit and loss ones. So again, this will show you we can run that on the period. It'll show you by a list of codes, groups into the IFRS standards, what the total values are. Anywhere on your code where you click in, for instance, where you click the SA1 code at the top, that will then take you into the transactions that made up that value. So you can see everything on screen repetitively as you go through. And again, we do sort of jump into the balance sheet and P&L and things like that within quite easily links at the top of the screen. So we've got the TB report on there, which is kind of a usual stalewart one, again, which will show you by period, debits and credits, and the balances at the end of that. Within the bank module, we work with various sizes of companies, from basically sole traders to quite large PLCs. So for instance, we do have one main customer who's a low carbon commodity company, and they use Liquid for developing a deal management system that suited their needs. And we've also worked very closely with an importer of chimeneas and things like that. And they have quite a lot of integration with websites and things on those lines. So happy to work with any company, giving them the sort of the best requirements that we need to. The bank processing side of it, then we have options on there to basically record money coming in and out on there. We can allocate those services against the invoices and receipts and do your bank reconciliations. As we're also working at the automation as well through open banking, so that's something that's going into play this year as well within it. And again, we can import bank transactions and those types of things. Liquid, as I said before, has full sales and purchase order processing on there, so we can create a sales order. From that sales order, then we can do a dispatch from it and then record the invoice on the back end of that. Similar sort of process within the purchase ordering is we can create a purchase order, we can do receipts. If it's part receipts, we can accommodate for that, and then we'll just do the invoices as they come in to tie that off as a 3-part process cycle. The project costing, as I say, has a powerful confidence module, which allows us to tag any transaction with the project code within the system. We can then put timesheet entries against those, log purchase orders, sales orders against them, sales invoices, purchase invoices, journals. And again, at the end of that, it will then give us a summary report and show us if we made a profit or loss on that particular project, or a surplus or a deficit. And again, we can run reports on there to show us on one project, sort of period reporting against each of the projects in that certain date range. The VAT handling of TD. Now within Liquid, we can process, we have our transactional VAT codes on there, which allows us to put those on there. It links to HMRC through their new API, so we're fully MTD compliant on there, which then allows us to submit the VAT return directly from Liquid accounts. It will then give you a complete read receipt at the time to doing it to say whether it's been confirmed or not. And if it hasn't, it will give you a reason as to why. But again, the MTD side of it now is all tied up quite nicely. Moving on to sort of Liquid Payroll, we have an integrated payroll system within Liquid Accounts, and this is a very straightforward package to use. It's designed to be, I say, straightforward, but not while missing out on any of the features that would be needed. The software, it does handle all forms of statutory pay, supports a variety of payroll cycles, so it can do weekly, monthly, 2 weekly, bi-weekly, 4 weekly payroll cycles. It's fully RTI compliant and has automatic payroll pension capabilities in there as well. You can also then seamlessly post the journals from the payroll into Liquid Accounts. So that saves you having to do the dual key of doing your payroll journals each time. I'll say we kind of have a little standard screen in here which looks on the employee details, and we have the options on here to email payslips directly, or we can have a payroll portal on there which allows people to log onto a website where they can download their existing payslips and P60s. And also on there, we can allow people to put, with an additional on there is an expenses one where they can put their expenses through. And you can allow people to put their own time and hours in as well onto there, which allows them then to, the manager to approve those before they're actually posted to the payroll. Again, the payroll system can calculate and print any of the statutory returns that are required, and also gives you some nice little prompts on there if they've not been done in time and what needs to be done. The pricing of the payroll is very straightforward, and it includes full telephone support from our experienced consultants as well. Okay. So that basically gives us a quick run through, and I think it's over to Manzoura now for any questions that have popped up during.
Yes, for sure. Thank you, Austin. Thank you for the presentation and giving us the insights about your product. And I have a few questions. So one of the first questions from my side is, does your platform, so you were saying about the CRMs, so does your platform integrate with different CRMs like HubSpot, for example? Is there an ability to do so?
We currently integrate with Zoho CRM and Capsule CRM at the moment, but as we do develop Liquid, it's an in-house product, we can write any basically integration to any third party, providing they have an API that we can and can't connect to. So there is no reason why we couldn't link to HubSpot. Unfortunately, we don't do it at the moment, but that is something that we can bring online if customers require that.
Mm-hmm. So you're fully adaptable to the customer needs in that sense.
Like I say, the only thing we are doing at the moment is doing quite a lot of integration. So it allows us to basically build a system where it's one sort of portal of the truth and everything can come into it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Also, about the order processing. So is it possible to send an email when the invoice is being prepared? So is it possible to send an email from the platform?
Yes, so basically what we can do is when we put a sales order on there, we can then either print or email the confirmation out at that time, so I'll send the order confirmation. When we create the invoice, those can be emailed straight out of Liquid as well. So again, they can either do those on a one-by-one basis, or if you want to, you can do a batch, like as a process at the end of the day, we just send all your emails out en masse as an email with a PDF attachment.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how do you also thinking about the security of the platform? So of course, a lot of people would be concerned about that when it comes to accounting platforms. So how do you guarantee the security of?
Basically, we're fully SSL encrypted on there. We've basically been through Cyber Essentials, so we're required on that. So we have a very secure platform. The level of security we use is the same as banks, so people are quite happy to use the banking data and things like that over the cloud. To be fair, with it being all held in a secure data center, it's probably less It's a bit more secure than having it load on your local desktop normally, which can be sort of broken into, burglarized, and kind of got a thing with viruses and things like that coming around, especially crypto lockers. Whereas the data's held on the cloud side, so we don't have any access to that side of it where people can inadvertently do that. So you can be sure that your data is in safe hands with us.
Yeah, I think that's actually one of the best things about your product is that it's cloud-based, and that's what makes it
That's the one,
different.
especially with these sort of turbulent times we've had recently and people having to work at home at short notice and things like that.
Yes.
Basically, just where you've got an internet connection, you're good to go.
Yeah, for sure. And people need to adapt to new changes as soon as possible. So that's a great option. Also, the question about the pricing model. So how the prices work.
Okay, basically the liquid account starts from £60 a month, or if you pay that annually, you get a discount on there to be £600 per annum, and the payroll starts at £7 a month for a £70 annual charge. Again, then dependent on if you want any additional modules on there or additional users above the core, then we can get the pricing on there. But we normally suggest you to speak to one of the account managers on there, and they can run through all the pricing with you.
Okay, great. So we will also leave the contact. The last slide will also show how you can get in contact with anyone at Liquid Accounts if you're interested. And also the last question about the payroll. So how is the Liquid payroll different from other platforms, payroll platforms?
Okay. I mean, what we kind of think is Liquid's designed to be very straightforward to use as possible. It's kind of quite an intuitive payroll. But even though it is quite simple to use and is a low price, it is still packed full of features and it has everything that you need in there. Again, things like keeping up with the legislation of payroll can be different, so it handles all that for you. It does all the automatic updates that you need. You're never sort of behind the times on the software having to apply service patches. It's all done automatically with it being cloud-based. We have sort of all the RTI components in there, the automatic enrollment. So we've got quite a lot of the features that are in there. One of the main things that steps us apart from other systems as well is things like the payroll portal, which is a really nice one, which the users, as I mentioned earlier, can go in, log in, review, reprint their old pay slips, preprint their old P60s, and we do have the facility there for them to enter timesheets and things like that into it and expenses. So it just makes it one streamlined sort of process. And again, then the payroll does a automatic journal into the account system, so you're not having to pull data out of your payroll, manipulate that, and then go and rekey that in there, which gives you basically, so we take away the dual keying and the possibility of errors away from that point.
And with regards to the accounts, is there a limit on number of accounts that can use the payroll per business?
No, so we have no limit on the number of transactions, number of customer supplier records, number of stock codes, number of banking transactions like some systems do. Ours is totally uncapped.
Okay, awesome. I think we can share the contact information now. So if anyone would like to get in contact with Liquid Accounts, you can get a 15-day free trial. And yeah, you can do that, or you can get in contact with anyone and ask for more questions, because sometimes it happens. Maybe there's some specifics of your company that you would like to find out, and you can see all the information here. Feel free to get in contact. And thank you, Austin. Thank you for
your time. Thanks for your
the
time, everyone
presentation. Yeah. So that was great, and wish you good luck. Thank you.
Perfect. Cheers now, everybody. Bye.